dinosaurs are still cool.
They are.
We just saw Jurassic World, and we thought this would be a fun thing to do, to actually see a movie on the opening day or night or whatever, and
Talk
just
about it. Yeah.
first impressions. We have no notes. We don't know what the hell we're talking about. We just, you know,
Just saw the movie for the first time. First impressions.
it's good.
Yeah, I actually, I'll just say I really liked it. I thought it was great. The whole thing. I was really skeptical going into it because I do remember seeing the sequels back in the day, and I really liked the first movie. I personally didn't care much for the sequels very much, but this movie I thought was really great. I actually would say I think I like this movie as much as I like the original movie, or almost as much as I like the original movie, which is saying a lot, but I thought it was really good.
You felt like you were watching a monster movie.
I did,
yeah.
yeah,
And that's
absolutely.
what it is. That's what we're here for. We love seeing beast versus beast versus beast. You know, it just keeps on.
There was a lot of beasts. There was little beasts.
yeah,
There was big beasts. There was monster beasts.
But I mean, when you stop and think about it, it's not original. It's the same kind of thing that we've been seeing for, since the beginning of film. The Lost World, actually. Well, Lost World from 1925. That was the silent movie,
Sure,
which
if
was
you wanna go
actually
back that far, yeah.
Yeah, that was based on a book. That was based on a book by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, and then
Did the Sherlock Holmes books and all that.
yeah, and then Michael Crichton's sequel, Jurassic Park, which was called Lost World. That was confusing. That book actually seemed like it was a sequel to the movie more than the sequel to his own book, really, because he was forced into writing that pretty much because the success of Jurassic Park.
Success of
There's
the first movie.
a lot of pressure, and it's like, yeah. Spoiler alert for anyone who wants to read the book of the Lost World, the Michael Crichton one, is that or no, should I say actually spoiler alert for Jurassic Park, if you want to read the book of Jurassic Park, is that Ian Malcolm dies in it. And they brought him back because Jeff Goldblum, playing Ian Malcolm, was one of the most popular characters in Jurassic Park. So they
changed it for the movie.
Pretty much, he did a retroactive continuity of his own book just because he knew they were gonna probably because he knew they were gonna put Jeff Goldblum in it again. So, but anyway, this one, and you know what? The Lost World, I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm just going see, usually I write scripts and I'm more organized, but this is just,
We're doing
this is
unscripted,
completely just right off the bat.
I went into it with mediocre to low expectations, thinking it was just going to be a CGI, shitfest kind of thing. But I thought that the computer graphics in the movie were really well done.
Well done, but not as good as Jurassic Park, or maybe it might be because I was 13 years old when I saw Jurassic Park. I can't. Actually, one really important thing to mention that we shouldn't sell short at all is that Jurassic Park used stop motion. I'm sorry, not stop motion, animatronics.
Yeah.
And I think they did a test with stop motion actually early on, but it's a lot of CG, but there's also part animatronics. I thought this was great. I thought this was a really great addition to the Jurassic Park franchise. Actually, it's probably the first one I think that is worthy enough of following the first one at least.
That's the way I felt too. Yeah.
It pretty much ignores 2 and 3. I think. In fact, they actually for the first time go back to Isla Nublar. I think the original island
because you actually see the doors and everything.
When Michael Crichton wrote the book, and I read the book when I was 13, I kind of forget, but I think they basically nuked the island at the end. Like, it was just like, they just wiped it all out. And then when they made the movie, they didn't explain that at all. But then when they made Lost World, when he wrote the book, he made it a different island because the first island was wiped out, and this island.
Well, the movies are different than the books.
Well, no, the problem is that the movie, which was different in the book, then started trying to follow the book as the book follows. So the book was trying to follow the movie by putting Ian Malcolm back in it because he survived the Jeff Goldblum survived,
chronologically confused.
So
about Jurassic
basically,
Park.
the book was trying to follow the movie, but the movie was trying to follow the book by making it a different island, and it was a confusing mess. And actually, I do not think that the Lost World was as bad as everybody says it is. But Jurassic Park 3 was pretty much garbage.
Yeah.
I guess nobody would argue with me with that. But
I sort of made the connection but I didn't totally until now that Jurassic Park is basically like Disneyland, and now with this movie, seeing that it's Jurassic World, so Jurassic World is Disney World essentially.
You know what I have to say is how I really wish that Ian Malcolm would have showed up in this movie and said, "God damn it, guys! I told you. You know, I told you so." Because how the fuck did they? The first movie, they make it perfectly clear this is a bad idea and that it all went wrong. And after that, you think they're never going to try it again. And then they did it again 3 movies later. And then
They're never going to make one of these movies where everything's good and it's just a park that goes well. It has to go bad or there's no drama.
I guess if they didn't listen, then... Or if they did listen, then we wouldn't have had a movie.
Exactly.
So that's the only way you could
because
really
you can't just have a whole movie and then just going on the rides.
But the thing is, it's even more far. Now they actually open the park. Now there's people there. Now they're actually messing with the dino DNA even more to make these new dinosaurs. So
that's what I thought was really cool about the movie, the fact that the park is open and they're actually like rides and like it's like you're in fucking Disney World, except it's dinosaurs, and that's a really interesting idea. Like all that shit that happened in the first movie with bringing the dinosaurs back to life and all the people that died and all that, their goal is to make a theme park for people to go to, and I think they address that a lot more, or you see that a lot more in this movie, because there's actual rides open, and it's really interesting that not all of the rides are just like, it's not like Disney World where you get on the ride and you go around in the Winnie the Pooh honey pot or something like that. It's they get into like this glass ball and they're actually out there in the fields with the dinosaurs. So they really put thought into like, what would a real theme park be like? Like, how do you get up close to seeing dinosaurs? And there's an aquarium that I think you've been to in Philadelphia where or it's in New Jersey actually, where you can actually go through a tube and you're surrounded
by sharks.
By sharks.
Yeah, that's
You've
cool.
been in that, and that reminded me.
Camden,
and that reminded me of in this movie. They're in sort of like a tube log thing, looking out at it at a T-Rex going after a hog or something, and that reminded me, of that. So they really did a good job making you feel like, wow, this is like a real theme park. Like I believed it. I thought well, like that could be a real thing if they were able to actually bring dinosaurs back.
Well,
like,
if
I can imagine it happening.
Well, if they ever make it a real thing, hopefully they watch the movies first.
And don't do it.
4 times it didn't go right. Well, I mean, the scenarios were different with the other movies. But, okay, so one thing I want to say is I like how it played a lot of tributes to the original Jurassic Park.
The music was in there.
So I like that they did all that, but I was very curious as to why the only recurring character from the original Jurassic Park that I could spot was the lab technician when the velociraptors are hatching the first time. And not only was he the only recurring character, but he was made into like more of a major role than he was. So he was in more scenes in Jurassic World, far more than he was in Jurassic Park. But not once did I really thought that there was going to be a cameo from Sam Neill or Jeff Goldblum. It didn't happen. I sort of felt, and it's only like one little tinge of negativity, but I kind of felt a little bit like it was sort of they were trying to make a remake. You know what I mean? Like it just kind of felt like it was
certain
sort of
things,
the same
like when
thing
you would look
again.
When the shots where they were running away from the dinosaurs, and you look in the rear view mirror and the dinosaurs are coming up, like that kind of stuff that happens in the original movie, and it's like, does that have to be every single Jurassic Park movie? They're gonna have that reir view mirror like shot.
Well, yeah, not even so much as specific as that, but just the feeling of it seemed a lot like it didn't really feel like a sequel. You know what I mean? Like it felt like which is probably for the better because they tried sequels and they didn't come out that great, but
you didn't think it felt like a sequel? I thought it felt like a sequel.
I mean, it does in the way that it makes references to the original Jurassic Park, but it felt very disconnected at the same time. It felt as if it was like, this is just a totally different movie. And that's what I gathered from the trailers, was that it seems like it's just a new movie. It's just something different, but it's sort of attached to that. And they make it, I think they make all those references to say that they're totally aware of it. Like when they have the the guy in the lab who's wearing the Jurassic Park shirt, and he's like, "Oh, that first park, dude, was so legit." You know,
I mean, I think it's totally a sequel.
it is technically it is.
It's
a
just
sequel,
it's
but...
just an expanded park. It's like they had the old park. Now they've made it bigger. It's a long time later, and there's a new group of people or whatever.
Yeah.
But I thought it was totally a sequel. What made you feel?
No, it is. It is a sequel, but it just
Right.
felt like it's very distant from it. It's like it's a new thing.
Yeah.
Like it didn't have any like major actors from the first one. Or
Oh, if you're
anything
talking,
like that.
yeah,
You know,
it's a
like,
different group of actors.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a new thing, but it really felt like it seemed like it could have, if they just took away some of those references, it could have just been a straight up reboot.
Yeah.
Like it could have just been, you know
instead
what
of
I mean?
being a sequel, right?
That's what it seemed like. It seemed like it was like they were trying to make a remake almost, but they didn't want it to be a remake. And that's the way everything is nowadays. Like, you know, like when they rebooted Star Trek, it was like, well, we're going to make this kind of like its own thing, but we're also going to connect it to the other movies so that there's
Right.
sort of like try to make everybody
I
happy.
don't understand
You know?
why they made a whole new universe of Star Trek and did this whole alternate reality so that they can go on a path to do a new thing. And then the next movie, they did the Wrath of Khan. The whole idea was to set it up so that you could do something new, and then they go back and fuck it all up by doing Wrath of Khan.
Yeah,
It's
well-
like you had your opportunity to make something new.
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Let's
not talk about
has
Star
nothing
Trek,
to do
though.
with Jurassic World.
Yeah.
I had a little bit of sadness just thinking to myself that, you know what, this is really good. I think this is as good as this could have possibly been. Like I don't have any issues with it or anything. And it's first impression. This is what you get for like no script, nothing, just go right into it.
Yeah.
But I felt coming out of it like, you know what, I just will never feel as amazed as I was when I saw Jurassic Park, because I feel like nowadays, like we're grown up and it's just never going to be like that again, you know?
I guess the thing for me is, and why I might have liked this movie as much as I liked the first one, is I was never amazed by the first movie. I went to the theater, I saw dinosaurs attacked each other, I thought it was pretty good, and I left. I went home. I didn't
really?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
I wasn't like that into it.
No.
I think you were like a hardcore.
Like,
You read the books and everything.
I was reading.
Yeah.
I read. Not only did I read the book, but I had to read every Michael Crichton book that was written up to that point.
Yeah.
Like when I saw Jurassic Park, it blew my mind. Like it just amazed me. Like I wanted to make movies about dinosaurs after that. I bought the mask because they had them in the Halloween stores, and
Yeah.
I must have used that stupid Velociraptor mask in like
Right.
like 20 movies.
I know that mask.
Yeah.
So
So
you
like,
do it in Cinemassacre
but-
200, I think.
yeah, and I've done animations.
300.
I did a cutout animation with the dinosaur attacking the car,
Right.
and
I think that's the
way-
difference. Like that movie blew your mind when you were a kid.
It did.
So it's never gonna top.
it's never
that.
going to be that. And I do want to remind people that there was animatronics in the original Jurassic Park,
Yeah.
so it proves that the old techniques are still awesome.
Right.
It holds up. I have seen it recently. It does hold up.
Oh,
but,
it is a good movie. Yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah, but I feel like I also was kind of how do I say, like privileged. I sort of had the luxury of having seen other dinosaur movies prior to that. I saw King Kong, which is my second favorite film of all time. First being It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. Only thing I hate about that movie is the title because it's too fucking long. But King Kong was awesome. That kind of is actually, it was the same animator, Willis O'Brien, who did The Lost World, 1925, not the, so King Kong kind of stepped it up from that one. And then you had Ray Harryhausen stepped in the 50s. There was Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. Willis O'Brien was still doing stuff. He did the Giant Behemoth. And then in the 60s, there was Valley of Gwangi. And that was the first movie that made the T-Rex cool, where the T-Rex was like the main badass villain of the movie, and where the T-Rex is fighting other dinosaurs.
Well,
and
when you
gets
go
loose.
from those
And then,
movies to
here's the thing.
Jurassic Park, it's a
each one of those. Yeah, each one of those was more sophisticated than the last. So I
Right.
kind of saw the progression in effects. And once Jurassic Park came out, that was like the just crowning achievement. That was
Yeah.
like, now dinosaurs look real.
Yeah.
And this is as real as they're ever going to look. And I was like, this is amazing. And then Lost World came out, and that was like 4 years later. And by then it kind of wore off.
I
I'm
do
like,
remember
eh,
seeing Jurassic Park, the original movie, in the theater when it came out, and I remember there was like a buzz about that movie. Everyone was talking about it. It was super popular because I don't think there had been effects like that before that impressed people to that level. everybody was talking about this movie. You have to see this movie. These dinosaurs, when that foot comes down, it's like you think that dinosaur's real, and it does still hold up today. But that was a whole big experience. It was a big deal when that movie came out, and now it's like that happened already. How long was it ago? Was that 20, 25 years ago?
93.
Yeah, so that already happened. Like the whole experience of like, wow, dinosaurs are real. So I think with this movie, since we've already seen the other Jurassic Park movies, there's no surprise. Like, even if these dinosaurs in Jurassic World look just as good, you've already had the experience of like, wow, dinosaurs. But now it's like, okay, now what? But I think they sort of address that in this movie too, because they say, okay, people aren't impressed anymore by a T-Rex and a Brontosaurus. We need something new, which is why they create this new monster, which I thought was pretty cool, and it was a menacing villain. I liked it. I thought it was a good direction to go, because if they just did a T-Rex again, that's good.
Well, they did try that in the third movie. In the third movie, they had these like mutated kind of dinosaurs, but it didn't really work.
Didn't work, but I think it worked with this.
Spoiler. Okay,
Yeah.
spoiler. Mike wants to give a spoiler right here.
Because I need to talk about the end part of the movie.
So in other words, everybody else, see you, have a good day. But if you
or you could cut this to the end or something.
Yeah.
But so near the end of the movie, they have to have. They got to do something to stop this monster, so they bring out the T-Rex.
It's like bringing out Godzilla.
Yeah,
it's like we got to fight. You got to bring. There's a dinosaur that's worse than the other.
Yeah.
They're all bad.
Yeah.
But you got to bring one out.
But this new dinosaur is even more powerful than the T-Rex. So the T-Rex comes out and it pretty much gets his ass kicked. But then all the other little velociraptors come out and they join the fight. And all of them working together is able to take down this new monstrosity. And what I think was really cool about it was the human, the guy in the movie, I forget his name, but he has like a connection, sort of.
Chris Pratt guy.
Chris Pratt. He has a connection with the raptors, and there's sort of a moment where the raptors they look up at the monster and they look at him and they realize, you know what, this monster is a monster. This monster is not one of us. Like we have to. We got to do something. Like, us dinosaurs got to get together with the humans and take down this beast, because this fucking beast is out there killing brontosauruses. It's gonna kill us, and they like the dinosaurs realize. And I thought that was really cool. So they come together with the humans, and then they take that motherfucker down. And I thought that was really. I thought that was cool.
I didn't think that they were gonna bring back and I assume like the way they build it up, it seems like it is the same T-Rex from the first movie.
Right,
like,
maybe it is. I don't know how long they're supposed to live. But.
Yeah, well, I would believe it would.
It could still be alive.
Like
right?
I believe that. It looked kind of different because it was like completely CG.
Yeah.
But you could see that it was kind of a little more beaten up. I don't know. I something about it. I just believed it was the same T-Rex.
Same one. It might have been. Yeah.
I'd like to think it was, but then I started trying to remember. Well, then. Then I started trying to track the T-Rex. Like, okay, Lost World, wasn't that the same one they bring back to the amphitheater in San Diego, and then they ship it back? But
yeah,
I don't know. Like, that T-Rex got around, if that's the same T-Rex.
One thing that I thought was an awesome touch was like when they go into the actual Jurassic Park in Jurassic World. The two kids in the movie, they sort of dust off the ground and they pull up.
Yeah,
they pull up the Jurassic Park banner, which. In the original movie, there's actually like a very epic
when
shot.
Dinosaurs rule.
Yeah, and the banner in the 1993 movie like falls to the ground. They pick that banner up and he makes it into a torch.
So for 20, cool. And he used the bone of the T-Rex,
right,
which I don't know if it was the bone from the skeleton. I think there was a skeleton.
I don't know what bone it was, but I thought it was cool that it was the same like flag.
Yeah. Oh, the actual bone. I wouldn't hold you to it to name the actual bone of the dinosaur, but well, what I was wondering, for 20 years or over 20 years, that when that banner fell, it's just been laying there. They never picked it up.
Yeah,
it's just,
you think
everything just kind
of when they would have made Jurassic World, they would have done something.
They were like,
with that area.
We're not going there.
Yeah, a bunch of people died. Don't clean it up. Just leave it there.
I mean, it kind of made sense to me. It kind of felt like it's sort of like a grave site. They just didn't want to mess with it. It was kind of like, look, we're just not going to touch that.
That's what they did. Right?
Yeah. That's what it seems like.
I thought that this was a worthy sequel to the original movie. It probably not quite as good as the original, but definitely a worthy sequel. I think it's definitely worth checking out. I don't know. Is there anything else about the movie that?
No, that's it. Dinosaurs are cool. Yeah.